in terms of the striker issue, links today to Højlund, links today to Ollie Watkins. Talk to me, bruv.
Obviously, striker is such a huge issue for United going forward. Last season, the big stat that I keep reiterating on every show I'm on, Marcus Rashford on his own had as many goals in all competitions as all of United's other attacking options put together. That's quite simply just not good enough. So yeah, absolutely, they need to find somebody up front because Martial, you can't rely on his fitness, and even his game for me is deteriorating. And Weghorst, obviously, that ship has sailed as well. But I can't lie, man. Like, I was already very skeptical about like the striker options on the market this summer because I think everyone, while they show promise, there is like a question mark around them. Like Harry Kane was for me the most surefire bet, but even him at his age, was it kind of a question that, oh, if United signs Harry Kane, then now all of a sudden you have him, Casemiro, Bruno is around 28, 29, Varane as well. Is your core too old for a team that's not ready to challenge? But Kane, like it or not, he's scoring 20 goals for Bournemouth, in my opinion. You have Osimhen, who for big money is probably like the best value for age and profile, but is there question marks over his game as well? Can he do it in the Premier League? Højlund is one that I've heard, but I'll be very honest with you, Terry. I haven't seen enough of Højlund. I have question marks. Is he somebody that could come in immediately and bang in 18 to 20 plus goals in the Premier League for Man United? I have my doubts, but again, I haven't seen enough of the guy. And then guys like Ollie Watkins, I think he had a great season for Villa this year, right? Unai Emery really came in and he looked like a completely different player. He looks unbelievable, but is this the quality that's going to take United from third and pretty comfortable in top four to challenging with Manchester City and Arsenal and then going to Europe? I have my doubts.
I agree with you. I think, again, Højlund's a player that I would like to sign if we could land Victor Osimhen, if Kane was coming in. Even a Ramos, who I think is very talented, I think he's a level below those other two. But if he was in conjunction with them, wow, suddenly you've bolstered your attacking line, almost the way City did with Julian Alvarez. You bring him in, as well as knowing that you're bringing in a marquee striker. You've got that great backup off the bench, even though I think he's about the same age as Haaland. We know Haaland is playing at a level beyond his age. It puts you into a different position. And I'm a bit like you. I am a little concerned. I don't want to go into this. There's other positions we need to look at as well. Goalkeeper, as we know, the midfield is already
discussed. Goalkeeper, yes. How long have I been telling you about goalkeeper, Terry?
You have, and you know me, right? When we were doing a lot of stuff in the studio at the Terrace, I was always like, I get what you're right about De Gea. Then he'd have a really good game, and I'd say, oh, no, I love him. This last season, I woke up and that coffee, I could, mate, it was so strong.
It was so strong.
Even when there's no coffee, I smell it now. The sinuses are burnt and imprinted with the coffee of De Gea. But I was like counting. I was doing an average over our last 7 or 8 games of the season. How many times he gave the ball away with unforced errors. He was averaging 17 to 18 times per game. And I watched the Inter Milan game. Inter Milan, they could have beaten City in that cup final with some better players. Why were they able to create more attacks, have slightly more of the ball, and relieve pressure? Because Onana could find his teammates in space and De Gea can't. It's a huge area for us that we have to focus on. But equally, we also need some more bagsmen. We need, as you've said, the fact that Rashford is still the center of controversy with a select group of Man United fans who are, in my opinion, butthurt that Martial fell off a cliff and Sancho hasn't surpassed him. That's all it is. It's their ego and their pride as men has been damaged, so they're taking it out on Rashford. But we need more strikers as well. Like, that's the thing with us. The midfield, of course, it needs to improve, but we need more goals and we need a goalkeeper. And I'm just getting a horrible feeling about our window at the minute, and nothing to do with getting Mount. It's more, I'm reading one report saying we may not be able to buy a new goalkeeper because of money. Then we're linked to Pickford, and I just think, Jesus Christ. Then it's only Højlund, who I rate, but he isn't enough by himself. And this is why I still don't understand the criticism the likes of Simon Jordan and people get when we say the Glazers are damaging our club. And they say, well, you spent £1 billion. Yes, but they've wasted it. And that's why now we have a manager that could take us to the next level this summer if money was available that hadn't been wasted time and time again over the last decade on failed projects, severance pays for managers who weren't good enough and shouldn't have ever been brought into the football club, players that we purchased, overpaid for, players we undersold, and then on top of that, all the interest payments and dividends. There should be money left at Man United right now. There should be hundreds of millions of pounds in our bank accounts to go, listen, there's the money for Kane, there's the money for Rice, there's the money for Costa, and then the Mounts and the Hoylands added around it. The money should be there, but it isn't because we've fouled in the past. And are you a little worried that if we don't get this takeover early enough, the summer could be so underwhelming that the manager isn't able to kick us onto that next level?
I'm concerned either way because I'm even reading that even if Sheikh Jassim was to walk through the door tomorrow, the funds available to Man United are not going to go up by that much. Like what they're realistically allowed to spend this summer is going to be capped off regardless of who the ownership is, and that's an issue because this whole saga has lasted way longer than it was supposed to. They were talking about first. Look, I really stayed away from this takeover stuff.
They were talking about the end of March initially.
Yeah. The
now
first quarter or whatever it was called, right?
Yeah, Q1.
Yeah.
Business.
Yeah. Look, I stay away from all of that stuff because, bro, I'm not a financial advisor here. I'm not a financial specialist. But yeah, look, I mean, United are going to be capped off regardless of who comes in at this point in the window. But I'm very concerned, to be honest with you, Terry, because I just look at United and I'm someone that took a lot of stick because I keep saying, let's remember where United were at the start of the season, what the expectation was around the club and where they had just come off of. I seriously believe United and Ten Hag overachieved this season. Like I'm very happy with the fact that we came third because when I look at the squad and look at the holes that are still in the starting 11, not even just in the squad, it's not really a team that should have been where they were, in my opinion. No matter how much money they spent, the squad's still not good enough. So I look at how many holes are in not just, again, the bench, but even the starting 11 and how much money we have to spend this year. I don't think that a realistic enough window that we should be having will happen. And I think, again, we are going to be left behind Arsenal, City, and then you look at the chasing pack, right? United will strengthen, of course, but will it be enough to continue staying above the likes of Liverpool, who will get better, Newcastle, who are only getting better and better and better, and Chelsea, who we know are just going to continue pumping money and money and money into this project? I'm extremely concerned going into next season.
Well, this is the thing. This is where look, rival fans will always banter, but this is where they show their bum-bums. This is where they show their ass. Because they're calling us in the comments now, you're a wash club. They're agreeing with you that we're going to be left behind.
Yep.
They're the same fans that said we couldn't call this current season an overachievement because we're expected to do it. A wash club doesn't win a trophy and finish in the top 4, 3 or 4 places above expectation and not be overachieving. And there's a phrase you coined last summer, and every time I've mentioned it throughout the season, I don't plagiarize with it. It's cheating the process.
Yeah, don't cheat the process.
You can't cheat it, and that's my fear here. That the holes aren't fixed, and if Liverpool improve, Chelsea improve, Arsenal and City get better, it's kind of hard for City, but if they all do, it's United need to trade blow for blow. And right now, listen, I'm hoping that we're working in silence. I'm hoping there's more money available than they're promising us. The takeover, I don't believe the journalists when they say there's still going to be no money. The reason I say that is if the ownership take over and pay the debt off, that's £60 million a year in interest payments we get back, as an example. They're going to pay the transfer debt off, which is about 60, 70 million, which costs us about 50, 60 a year. You've suddenly got 120 million available. They can pump £100 million cash of their own money in directly for transfers straight away as part of the legislation. So you could raise 200 to 220 million instantly with what their proposal is, plus then the sale of players. I still think they could come in and spend north of 300 million if they take over. But the problem you have is if the takeover doesn't get complete until August, Caicedo and Rice and everybody else, they're going to be done. They're going to be at new clubs. It needs to have been done now. And yeah, I agree with you completely. It is a genuine worry for me with who we were linked to, how strongly we were linked to them, and how now they're just one by one, they're falling away for one reason or another. And I'm just, as you say, my concern is, are we going to throw another manager under the bus by not giving him?
Of course we are. This is what we do, man. This is what we do. Like I was laughing, honestly, seeing at the beginning of the window, people getting gassed at the amount of players you were getting linked to. Because, like, have you not been here before? Every single summer, we were linked to every single player under the sun because we're easy clicks for every single media outlet, every single journalist, every single pundit. We almost never end up getting 95% of those names. And at the end of the window, we're almost scrambling, trying to get deals across the line to basically give a manager who's already overexceeded this season. That's how every single year it goes from we're not in the top 4, we spend a lot of money to get back into the top 4, and then we're there, the ownership gets comfortable, and that's how we fall out, and then repeat the cycle.
I absolutely agree. Some super chats here.